My name is Anna, and this is my wonderful cat, King Louie Bruce. I want to talk about the journey that we've been on with since the diagnosis of the large cell T-cell lymphoma that was found in my cat's smaller intestine. This diagnosis that we received was in January 2019, and since then I've been doing a lot of research and looking into holistic care plans to help improve the quality of life for my cat Louie. So Louie came into my life in March 2016 as a 3-year-old American short-haired tabby that had been in New Jersey with, from what I was told, one owner, and then was transferred up to Westbrook Animal Shelter in Maine, which was the state I was living in the US at the time. I adopted him. He was 3 years old at 13 pounds, with all his vaccinations up to date and no real health issues that they could explain to me. So I thought that it was a good fit. I knew he was the animal I wanted, so I decided to adopt him. He was generally quite healthy, though I would say in the early days, within the first few weeks, I did notice that he had something that was involving his digestive system. He would eat, but how it was coming out at the other end just told me that he wasn't completely healthy and maybe needed some care. So I had taken him to the vet to register him and had brought this to their attention, and they had done an examination and looked at his paperwork from his adoption. And what the vet told me was that it was most probably some sensitivity in his stomach that could have been due to a poor diet from his previous home. It could have been from the stress of adoption and the new environment, or it could be like very early signs of IBD, which is irritable bowel disease. So I found a vet for him and I took him, and on his first appointment, the first thing that brought alarm bells ringing was that he had been consistently around 15 and 16 pounds. When he was weighed in September, he was 15 and a half pounds, like somewhere between 15 and a half and 16 pounds. And when he was weighed in early January with this new vet, he weighed 13.4 pounds. So that's what the difference of 2 pounds that he had lost in the space of 3 months, which is a pretty significant amount of weight to lose for an animal. So she was concerned, his vet, and so she recommended blood tests, because all of the signs that I had explained to her were suggesting that he either was going into kidney failure that could have been related to, an underlying health concern that had been there, or, there were certain brands of food I was concerned about, that could have been that could have caused the kidney failure. So she wanted a blood test, but she also thought it might have been his IBD, because I explained to her that the vet in Maine had always suggested that he was a high-risk candidate for developing it because of his weight and just the sensitivity. So we did the blood test and everything came back normal. What she did was she actually said, okay, the weight is scaring me, the loss of weight and the vomiting and the lack of appetite right now. We need to get an ultrasound to look internally and get a look at what's going on inside. So we did the ultrasound, and what they saw, I knew in the first 5 minutes something was really wrong, because the sonographer pointed out that in his small intestine was basically a blockage. She said it was a thickening of the wall of the intestine, and she showed me where it was. And she also saw 2 swollen lymph nodes that were causing concerns. So she said, there's not much we can really say other than to explain that all signs are pointing to either it being severe irritable bowel disease or that it's cancer. And the recommendation was that he had to have surgery so they could do an exploratory surgery just to really look and see what the issue was. So we scheduled the surgery for the next week, and from there the vet determined that when they opened him up, they saw that he had a tumor in his small intestine, which they removed, and they removed the 2 swollen lymph nodes. And after much conversation where it was spelled out to me that I had to prepare myself for the worst, because they were pretty convinced that it was a tumor at least, and not just a result of severe IBD. A tests were ran on the samples, and it was determined that it was large cell T-cell lymphoma. Immediately I started researching alternate options, and I first read about a story of a woman who treated her cat's lymphoma with a regimen from a brand called NHV, and that she had started using their ES Clear formula to treat her animal. And I would say this is kind of where it all started for me in deciding what I was going to use. So I decided that Louie's immune system was really important, and that I needed to find supplements to help boost that. This is what the brand looks like. It's backwards here, but it's NHV. It's in this packaging. It's a company that was founded by a woman called Patra de Silva, who worked a lot with businesses who produce supplements for humans, and then through her own personal experience with animals in her care, she realized that there wasn't a market for natural supplements, and with her knowledge and with the help of holistic vets, they helped her develop this brand, NHV. They're out of Canada. So doing a lot of research, they seem to be very highly recommended, and there has been tests, research projects on their products that have resulted in animals having favorable responses to the supplements. So I thought that it seemed like something that I wanted to try. So I got several in my, this is my second round of products. But in the first round, I got their milk thistle brand or formula, because as I've mentioned, I wanted to make sure that his system was working correctly, and that there were supplements I could give him to combat free radicals in his system and to detoxify him. And milk thistle is a formula that detoxes the liver and improves liver function, which I thought was really important, given the fact that he was still on that steroid, and I wanted his body to be built back up and for him to have a really strong immune system. So milk thistle is what was one of the formulas I chose in the first order. And for therapeutic care, you give an animal of Louie's size, which was about 16 pounds, 1 milliliter in the morning and in the evening with his food. And what I use is, he really likes these pate based gourmet Purina wet food. So I just give half in the morning. I put his formulas in that half, and then I give him a small amount of dry food, and then in the evening he gets the second half of the wet food with the formulas. So this was the first I used. Then I also got the Phelum, but I think it's Phelum. It's the formula that they initially created for cats with feline leukemia. It is a formula that strengthens the cat's weakened immune system, increases cat's ability to fight infections, encourages detoxification of the lymphatic system, and stimulates appetite. So I thought that this would be a great addition to his regimen. It has turmeric, which is known as being an anti-inflammatory. Aloe vera juice, also known for its soothing properties. It has alfalfa leaf, burdock root, cat's claw, osha, dandelion root, myrrh, just to name a few. And they're all basically soothing herbs and highly nutritional herbs to support the immune system. Then we have Tripsy. Now this is a newer addition in the second order I got, but I got Tripsy to help with his kidney function. I just think about my father when I think of this. Taking care of your kidneys is so important. And for cats or dogs who are suffering from chronic illness, focusing on supporting the kidneys, I think, is really important as a pet owner. And so I added Tripsy to his regimen because he also has always suffered from kidney issues. So this has parsley, beet, wild hydrangea, gravel root, echinacea, marshmallow root, and Oregon grape. And you can read the instructions on their packaging. It's pretty clear. And then I got, talking about clear, the ES Clear brand. I'm sorry this is all backwards, but you're getting the gist of the names by me saying it. And this has burdock, sheep sorrel, slippery elm, and Chinese rhubarb. And again, 1 milliliter in the morning and in the evening. I also got their turmeric formula, which is just turmeric, because it reduces inflammation, pain reducing, and it supports the circulatory system, which when he first came out of the surgery and he was weak, he was going through the upper respiratory infection, I really thought that was important. Now, I highly, before I move on, I just want to say I highly recommend NHV products. Their customer service is incredible. They're on Instagram and they're regularly checking in on Louie. They if you're in the US and Canada, their shipping is free over $50, which I think is pretty amazing. And each of these formulas last about 3 months. If you're outside of the US, I do suggest checking out Natural Angel. They are a distributor of the NHV products out of the UK, and that's helped me a lot with savings since I am in France now, because you know you do have to pay for taxes and shipping can be quite high. So I do recommend that you look at the Nature Angel website if you are not in the US or Canada. It's been quite incredible to see the transformation. He's not on his steroids anymore, and the vet really just can't believe how well he's doing. Like the last time we had an appointment with her, which was about 2 weeks ago, she said that he's clinically perfect. He's got a great coat, there's no vomiting, his litter box situation is perfect, he's eating, he's happy, he's social. He never really stopped being social with me, but he just seems so much happier right now. And, you know, that makes this whole regimen completely worth it for me. Ultimately, I've committed to having him, and he has the right to live a comfortable life with me, and he gives me so much in return that sometimes you wouldn't have expected an animal to give, but it is completely worth it.